Let's cover a lot of news. Did you guys know 1 million migrants are waiting on the north border right now? Told you it was going to happen. Pentagon to deploy 700 Marines to Los Angeles, officials say. And how would it make you feel if I told you these riots are funded by taxpayers? And I told you in a previous video, June 14th, there's supposed to be something big that happens. And how about this? Another Chinese scientist from the Wuhan charged with smuggling illegal biological materials into the U.S. coming from the New York Post. Also on the breaking news front, distributors' IT issues, grocery crisis brewing. And we're talking about major empty shelves. And have you seen this? This is absolutely crazy. This next Vaxaroo is called neck spike. Did you guys know that nex in Latin means death? A lot of crazy breaking news, new stuff, LA riot live update, and things happening around the world that affects you coming right up. Hey guys, my name is Cohen here at Riverside Homestead, and if you're brand new here, welcome. And if you guys are into prepping tips, emergency preparedness, and most important, news and awareness that affects you, be sure to start this video off with a like, hit that notification bell so you guys can stay up to date, and let's begin. All right, folks, thanks for stopping in. Please start this off with a like. It only takes a couple seconds. It'll definitely help get this pushed out to more folks. We're gonna cover what's on the biggest news front right now and just scratch the surface on some of the new things with all these riots and what to expect, like the new one they want you to take that's called Death Spike. All right, we'll start with this because I told you this yesterday, I believe, that they were talking about sending Marines to Los Angeles to probably really bring down the hammer. I mean, what's your guys' take on these protesters, these peaceful protesters? I mean, do you think it's protesting once you've crossed the line of destroying property, laying your hands on officers and military officials? Let me know down in the comments. But it says right here, Pentagon to deploy 700 Marines to Los Angeles, officials say. Washington, Reuters, the U.S. military is set to temporarily deploy about 700 Marines to Los Angeles while additional National Guard troops arrive in the city, a U.S. official told Reuters on Monday. All right, so the status recently was 300 California National Guard troops were deployed. They're expecting it to get up to 2,000 by Wednesday, which is tomorrow. And the Marines are expected to provide support. It is unclear what exactly they'll be doing. Well, it's the Marines. I imagine they're gonna probably bring down the hammer. They're already calling this a national crisis. We've got a lot of stuff circulating about June 14th being something, there's supposed to be a bunch sparking off all across the United States. You guys can see right here in the map, all the locations. If you guys missed yesterday's video, I go over into more detail on where you can find out about those locations. I'll leave a pin to that video at the end of this video. I mean, they're already, for example, during the pandemic, so it's projected that they might be setting up temporary hospitals because of where this thing might be going. But here's a crazy thing. You can see the image on my laptop back here. This is supposedly 1 million migrants waiting at the border. Like, what's gonna happen to where all these millions of people can come across the border like that? Like, they're waiting for the doors to open. I mean, you heard what the Mexican president said. It's been all over the news, calling for protests, calling for people to show up. But check this out.
The UNHCR and the OIMs, they're still here. They're still installed here next to the border to Guatemala, where the massive entrance has been coming in. And also, just to confirm, there was a meeting between Ms. Kristi Noem, the Department of Homeland Security chief, and Donald Trump, which there was incorrect information that the president of Mexico gave Ms. Kristi Noem. The president of Mexico said that she had returned more than 500,000 migrants into the Guatemala. That is actually incorrect. You have more than 1 million migrants waiting on the north borders that connect to the United States of America, waiting on the CBP-1 app.
Well, Oscar, I'm going to ask you the same question I asked Ben Bergholm. Do you feel safe right now, knowing that there's a lot of, cartel action in that area? Of course, you're no stranger to being around that. But what's your state of being right now? Do you feel safe?
No, absolutely not. I haven't been feeling like this. For the past couple of years, I have been moving my family around different addresses and my city of Tijuana. And also when I come down here to the south of the border or in a South American country, they have threatened our lives, the cartel from Colombia and different criminal organizations. So we try to do our best to inform to the American public and to the world what is actually happening and how they are trying to transform the country of the United States to a complete disaster. That is what they're trying to do right now exactly as right now in Los Angeles.
All right, so if you guys didn't pick that up, they're waiting on this CBP One app to allow, basically, from what I understand, 1 million people to merge into. Now, I told you guys yesterday that I believe in Los Angeles alone, 10% of the population, which is around 1 million, are being called illegal. Now, when you've got 10% of the population that could go up in arms, then you got another 1 million just sitting there waiting to come over. That pushes it to 20%. So are these migrants and mobs gathering at the border right now as we speak for the 2028 election anticipation, or is something else on the front? And that little clip was from Real American Voice News Place. This one right here is from Fox News. They're saying that breaking commercial grade gas masks are now being distributed to the rioters. This is a funded operation that wants disruption and destruction. They say arrest them all.
And you kind of get to learn what the agitators look like. And I'm seeing a decent amount of them out here right now, always dressed in black, always with face coverings, not holding any signs. And as I told you earlier, Sean, a lot of people were showing up here and they were being given earplugs, gas masks, water bottles, not to drink. A lot of those water bottles are being thrown. So, unfortunately, it looks like we might be heading for another night of things crossing the line here in Los Angeles. And as we're waiting for apparently more National Guard and more U.S. Marines to head down here to Los Angeles. We're not seeing any of them in the streets. The National Guard, they're basically sitting around federal buildings helping protect them. They're not out in the streets pushing these protesters back. This is all the locals. Everything you're looking at in front of us right now is LAPD. It's not California Highway Patrol. The LA Sheriff's Department is behind us. This is all LAPD. And we heard the chief of LAPD say last night they're a bit overwhelmed. And, that's... Once these agitators come out in huge numbers and LAPD has to constantly respond to different areas, they reported that some of these people were using radios to communicate with each other last night to report law enforcement movements. So it's complicated for law enforcement as well. But this is essentially the game that gets played all night long here. This is the main protest crowd. Police will try to push them back. They kind of melt away like water. We'll go down another alley, reemerge somewhere else. LAPD will get a radio call, have to go respond to them. And every now and then, you'll have these 10, 15-minute spurts where it's quiet, and then people will start throwing water bottles and fireworks again, Sean. But, you're seeing it in front of us, a lot of foreign flags, and certainly seeming to be kind of a different crowd than what we saw a few hours ago earlier this evening. Definitely, you can feel the tension building. You can definitely feel like as the sun is about to go down here, we could be in for another rough night here in Los Angeles, Sean.
So some people are saying these things that are happening with all these peaceful protesters is completely funded. Like I said, they're getting handed water bottles, not necessarily to drink, but to throw. They're getting pallets of rocks, cinder blocks, cultured stone to throw at vehicles, to throw at law officials and military. And the crazy thing is they're burning U.S. flags. They're waving all the flags from other countries, not the U.S. flag. And at the end of the day, if you're thinking like I do, you're like, do these people even have a job? Do they even work? Or is this an example of the people that just got all the free stuff once they came across the border? I don't know. So yeah, a lot of other YouTubers are talking about how LA riots are taxpayer funded. It says right here, breaking, we know that the California state taxpayers' money was used over the weekend to fund the violent LA riots, which broke out in response to ICE raids. And this video right here is particularly about learning who is behind the money, involving the hand of Governor Newsom and California Democratic politicians. It's suspected that they all have a hand in it. Tell me what your thoughts. Is that bogus or is that true? And I told you this map right here is showing about some kind of breakout protest thing that's supposed to happen on the 14th, which I don't know. At this rate, you guys might, they're sending in Marines. They're sending in 2,000 National Guard. Like, this is a big deal. And when they're calling for this thing to break out on the 14th, so many places in the United States. I've got community members writing in. They're going to be in every state, even in our little towns, not far from us, Ironwood, Michigan, Ashland, Wisconsin, with me over the last couple weeks. I had shared it above, but it was a couple weeks ago even. This person said they even put it on their calendar. Don't go anywhere today on the 14th. Ironically, it's Trump's birthday and Flag Day. Imagine that. Had another person write this. Check this out. Attention, Tuolumne County folks. Protest this Saturday at the park by the old courthouse on Washington Street in Sonora. This is coordinated event being held throughout the U.S. everywhere. It'll probably get violent at least somewhere in the big cities. Hopefully not there. It's coordinated on the www.nokings.org, and we've been having some people look into this. They're calling it No Kings Mass Protest, so expect a weekend of heavy violence nationwide, potentially. This writer says, I'm stocking up and staying home. Things locked and loaded, if you know what I mean. And that comes from one of our viewers here with her friend Joanne in California. Here's another headline. Trump sends 700 Marines and 2,000 National Guard members to Los Angeles. This comes from Fox Business. General Kane warns China conducting most comprehensive penetration of U.S. society in 250-year history. This is from Fox Business and says Chinese threat escalates with arrests of national smuggling biological pathogens into the U.S. So they're smuggling in biomaterials into the U.S. And this is on Fox Business. It says the U.S. is target one for the Chinese Communist Party, and retired General Jack Keane says that beefing up defense to stand up against the threat should be on high on the list of priorities. Look, like I said, never a shortage of bad news. We have another community member wrote in, I know General Keane personally. If he's calling it, it's true. To go along with that, check this out. Another Chinese scientist from Wuhan charged with smuggling illegal biological materials into the US, and this comes from the New York Post. You guys can easily go find this article right here if you want to learn more about that. Absolutely insane. There's the photo right there. It says Kangguan Han sent 4 packages that contained biological materials related to roundworms from China, according to court documents, the U.S. District Court for the Eastern District of Michigan. Anyway, I could do a whole video on this one, but that's not the only thing that's going on. A grocery store crisis is brewing as major food distributors' IT issues leave shelves empty at some supermarkets. Look, we've told you guys to prepare. I'm not saying to be some hardcore doomsday preppers, but you guys need to be prepared at least for some chaos SHTF type moments, whether it has to be weather related, power outage related, or whatever. It says that UNFL, a major food distributor, says Monday that the IT system had unauthorized activity. The issues affected grocery deliveries, some supermarkets, the company said, and shelves at some Whole Foods stores appeared mostly empty over the weekend, which you could see in many social media posts. So look, the reason I bring that up is just more reason to keep you and your family a little bit more prepared than normal. And I'll tell you what, last but not least, this one's not good, guys, because you just can't make this up. It says, this comes from Nicholas Hushler, MPH and Focal Points, Courageous Discourse. You guys have heard of the company called Moderna, all right? Well, the next gen mRNA shot is literally named after death. I'm not making this up. The FDA just approved mNEXSpike, despite a 2.7 serious adverse events rate in trials. In Latin, NEX means violent death. So essentially, mNEXSpike means death spike. Who all is paying attention to this out there? Tell me, is that just a coincidence, or are they trying to tell us something? Just wanted to give you guys a quick update on a few things that were happening. Hope you appreciate it. Hit the like button, let me know down in the comments, share it out if you want more people to know this info. Couple videos. If you missed yesterday's, it's there at the top. Also another very important video if you missed that one. Make sure the notification bell is on if you like staying up to date with current events and stuff you should know I've got coming down the pipe. Keep prepping, keep learning, keep doing. We'll see you guys on the next one.